Everybody, this is the FY23 budget meeting for District Court, and the time is 11:01 on June 8th, 2022. And I'm calling this meeting to order. In attendance are Commissioners Brooks and Duncan, and Chairman Filio should be joining us shortly. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and get started with our one business item, which is the District Court Budget Review, here with Carlene Behringer.
Good morning, Commissioners. Carlene Behringer, Trial Court Administrator from District Court for the record. I'd like to start my request by speaking about the personnel requests that we would like to discuss. The first personnel request we have is for a secretary to the Bailiffs Commission, the Jury Commission Office. The former secretary was promoted to administrative secretary. And due to our ever-increasing workload and the demands in that office, we need another secretary to help with all of the daily operations of the office. As you know, our bailiff's office also acts as our jury commissioner office. And in the past, the bailiffs have been able to help out with jury commissioner duties. But because of the workload, we just can't operate that way any longer. So we are requesting a second secretary to help out on a daily basis. The secretary to the jury commissioner in the bailiff's office would be a grade 3, step 6.
Okay. There's only one secretary now?
Correct.
And then how long has she been with us?
Oh, it's been a number of years.
Okay. And then our bailiff's pretty much full right now?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, that's not your only request, right?
No.
Okay.
My second personal request deals with overtime. Our current overtime budget is $10,000, and due to COVID and, again, the increase in workload, our district court's actual overtime expenses are $16,732. So in order to meet the fiscal 23 demands and decrease the backload, we're requesting an additional $20,000, which would then result in a $30,000 budget in fiscal 23.
Okay. And I'm sorry, who does this cover?
Bailiffs, the majority of bailiffs, and also Samantha Wallace, my assistant.
Okay. Do you have any well, I guess that's a B budget, so we'll get to that in a minute, because I didn't see it in my outline. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. We have one capital expenditure that we are requesting. It's for $17,500 for a refurbished X-ray machine that will replace a 17-year-old machine that needs new parts that are no longer available to us.
Right, so during our capital discussion, we talked about using district court funds to fund that, of which we have a lot of district court funds. Did we ever figure out the answer to that?
I believe you were going to have a conversation with the auditor and get back to me on that.
Okay,
Yeah, right now we have a budget to come out of those restricted funds.
perfect. And so can we bring it forth to a business meeting to have it done in '22?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So have you located a machine, Carlene?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We received the quote, we have the machine, we just need the approval to buy the machine.
Okay, so Bill, are you all right with that, bringing it forward now instead of?
Yes.
Did you have any other questions on personnel stuff?
Not on personnel.
Okay. All right, so that's a C item, so that C item will be taken out of the budget, essentially.
Okay.
Because I'm just afraid, will it still be there October 1? So that's my concern, so. All right. Okay.
Now I can move on to our B
budget.
We have a couple items here. The majority of them deal with the bailiff's office as well. But to start, I'd just like to talk a little bit about the travel portion of the budget. I've asked money per diem, airfare, lodging, mileage, miscellaneous travel, and seminars and professional associations. Last year, I removed the funding that was available to us so we could hire a full-time employee for the court assistant's office. I'd like to start sending people back to training. The bailiffs need training. They can do that locally But my court assistance officer and my district manager and my family court services manager, they do need, they would like to attend national training to just, fine tune their skills. They have not been to training in a number of years because of COVID. So the trainings are starting up again, and I'd like them to attend one national training so they could just bring back information to us.
What was your
Strengthen the
budget
programs.
last year that you said we were removed?
The budget last year was,
Just approximately.
it was pretty high, and it had been a budget from many years ago. I don't know if I have my budget performance report here. I believe it was about $28,000.
I just
Oh, here it is. I could pull it for you.
was curious how much you had budgeted to spend on training and travel and.
Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry, this is 2022.
Well, what was 22?
Let me see here. It was about, let me see, 7, 11,
So
15.
are you asking for FY21?
Yeah, it would be
So the amount
21.
that she would have pulled off in FY22, there was 4,500 for per diem, 6,300 for airfare, 5,900 for lodging,
Okay,
nothing for automobiles, and then
that's
8,600
fine.
for
Thank you.
mileage.
This not,
It was pretty high. But I was willing to do the trade-off to get a full-time employee.
I know, I remember.
And so now it's increased by like 12 grand, I think.
Right now, I think I'm up to $20,600, including all those line items. And just so you know, the mileage doesn't include all that travel. It also includes Janet Mazur, the court assistant's district court manager's travel, which she comes here twice a week for 52 weeks. So that's her mileage from Sandpoint to Coeur d'Alene, round trip.
Okay. All right. Petitions, phones for nutrition. All right. Anything else you wanted to highlight?
Well, we've asked for, an increase in paper based on David Reed's recommendation, and, and also, I've noticed that we've used a substantial amount of paper this year, so I'm asking for an $11,876 increase to bring it up to $20,000. For equipment and maintenance supplies, it did increase a little bit for our x-ray machines. I'm just asking for a $500 increase. One of the new things I am asking for under 8060 would be money for a new taser, 60 cartridges for bailiffs so they can remain certified, and then 5 taser batteries for the tasers that they have already. And the only other thing I'm asking for is some funding for, under furniture, 9003, for some desks, chairs, and things of that nature. And that's it for the district court budget.
Okay. All right. Fiber enhancement that's what we just put in for the high-speed change.
Correct.
Okay. And then mental health court.
Yes. Drug court didn't have any increases, and neither did mental health court. Under 8199 in mental health court, we are asking for a $50,000 increase. Right now, the current budget is $27,600, and our increase would result in a budget of $77,600 for fiscal 2023. So the reason we're asking for the increase is mental health court is right now currently spending $6,500 a month in drug testing. The state contributes $28,000 a year. The additional $50,000 would be used to test the mental health court participants for fentanyl and kratom, which we have not included in testing before. And
Excuse me, I know what fentanyl is, but what is Creighton?
kratom is another. It's a
Is it an opioid? Or?
it's a synthetic drug that people use to become less addicted to opioids, but it's very dangerous. And sometimes you can find it at gas stations and things like that, and they're trying to get it off the market now.
Thank you.
Very dangerous.
Wow.
So the other thing that's important here, just so you know, mental health court is only allowed to bill Medicaid for 20 drug tests per client per year. So we just don't have enough money to test everybody.
Right.
And right now, the clients are testing 12 to 15 times a month. And so that's what that funding would be used for.
Okay. And then a movable walk-through metal detector, is that amount of money for maintenance or is that for a new one?
That was for a new one.
Okay. And then did you check with KCSO to see if they had one in storage?
I didn't.
Okay. Is that something we can take out of court funds as well?
We should be able to.
Okay. So I know it's a B item, so I don't know how auditor does that, if we can,
I can just take it out. It's easy.
okay.
Carlene, which budget is that in again?
That would be in the main district court budget,
Yeah.
Your ops budget?
the ops budget, yeah.
Yeah.
And that amount includes the machine installation, training, all those things.
Yes,
And do they have an annual amount?
yes. And
Subscription or?
yes, and it's under warranty for a certain amount of years, and we only call them in for service when we need them.
Yeah, and it's $2,400.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very much, but however we can not tax the citizens if we already have the money would be great. So I guess that's another thing too, you could bring forward sooner than later if you wanted to, because it's coming out of district court funds.
Okay.
So, and then check with KCSO. I mean, like I said, when I toured their storage units, storage pods, there was all kinds of stuff in there, so.
Okay.
Do you have any questions on their B budget?
No.
Okay. So.
The one that raised my eyebrows was the $50,000, but when you explain it, I understand it.
It's, the fentanyl use here is very, very high and very, very scary.
Yeah. All right. So I think those were all of my questions that I had. At this point, it seems pretty reasonable, but I'm just not sure about the secretary at this point. When we get together June 14th, we'll try to figure that out. I know that the volume's definitely increased, and then doing the jury commissioner stuff is no big too. But we'll resume. I hate to say it, but I think we're all going to have to come to the June 14th meeting. So that's when we're going to drill down and dial in on on personnel.
Okay.
So, all right, Bill, if you don't have any other questions, I think that we can just.
Is Marissa?
Marissa, did you join us?
I believe her meeting's at 2 PM.
No, she's out.
And
Oh,
she's ill, but Callie will be here, and I believe Jennifer will be here.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we'll talk about their portion of it. Yeah. Yep. All right, public comment? Nothing online. Okay, well, 11:15, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.